It's a Sunday, and it's your boy. Some call me Steph, some call me Saucy, but today is the day for NFL. It's the first Sunday. We're back, people, and welcome to Steph Saucy Talk. Today we're doing NFL games. We're covering the 1 o'clock, the 4 o'clock, and the 8 o'clock games. Basically, what that means is I'm giving my scores, what I like to see from each team, what I think are the advantages, the disadvantages. We're looking at the injury reports, the spread, everything. You know what I'm saying? So today is that day to lock in. You know, some people go to church, some people watch football, and we're doing football, baby. So without further ado, just wanted to say, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. This is for entertainment purposes. As I always like to say, nothing ever changes when it comes to entertainment. And I try to entertain and I try to give you the realness, which I always do. Steph's Saucy Talk is always about being real, which I always seem to do. That never changes. You know what I mean? But when it comes to NFL football, just to give you a little background of myself in case you didn't know, I did play football in high school. I actually was the single game record for most tackles in the game, which was 27. Yes, 27 to one game. But you can imagine if I had 20 seconds, how good was my team? My team was not good. Okay, people, we weren't a good team. We didn't win a single game that whole year, but I do miss it, being on the field with the guys and preparation, just going against an opponent. And I'm sure these guys in the NFL at the highest level possible, you know what the odds are for you to make it to the NFL? A 1 in a million chance. So for all those guys that have made it to that level, which is the NFL, they're on the highest stage possible. And I want to obviously do a week by week Steph game picks, as we go through it each week. Of course, I'm a Giants fan, so we're going to talk about the Giants too a lot on this segment. So that's pretty much what we're doing. Shout out to if you're tailgating out there. The Jets are home this week. They got the Steelers. We're going to get into that too. And the Giants, they're on the road for the next 2 weeks. They're opening up the season against the Washington Commanders. All right, so that should be real interesting to see and analyze. So without further ado, it is week 1 in the NFL. We are going to get this party started, and we're going to roll just like that. I'm going to go to my ESPN account because I have an ESPN account and look at each and every game as we're looking at the first game. But I'm not going to talk about my Giants yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give that some time to marinate. Let's get to the 1 o'clock game, the Buccaneers against the Falcons, okay? This should be interesting enough. Let me adjust my screen here as I got this 1 o'clock game schedules on my screen. I'm trying to get to where they can give me some more information. Let's get to it. There we go. All right, so here we go. Right now, the spread is 1.5 for the Atlanta-Tampa Bay game. As you know from last year, the Falcons edged the Buccaneers twice. It was crazy because Kirk Cousins was the quarterback. The offense just exploded in that home game. I think they won 34-31. And then, the Bucs, of course, they won the division. Let's be honest, Carolina's not that good, and New Orleans doesn't have a true QB. So that's going to be pretty much either between Tampa Bay and Atlanta when it comes down to the wire. So we have 1.5 in favor of Tampa Bay. Just taking a look at the injury report, no Chris Godwin. He's out, from an ankle injury. Oh, man, that guy always takes it. He takes tough injuries, man. Also, All-Pro Bowler Tristan Wirfs from the offensive line. He's out, too, with the knee injury. So you got to look at that. You take that in consideration. This year, Michael Penix, he is QB1. And, last year he came in, the offense was sputtering. Kirk Cousins wasn't getting his job done. Coach Raheem Morris made that change and said, look, we're gonna go with Michael Penix, excuse me, and that's what they did. He looked pretty good towards the end of the season, but it wasn't enough to get the Falcons into the playoffs. So this year he's got full reins. The offense is his command. You got Drake London back there. Also, by the way, the Falcons, Leonard Floyd, he's going to be on the defensive line. So let's just really see what the Falcons can do this year. I had them winning this division this year. I think something could be possibly there, potentially. So I'm going to go with the Falcons winning at home today for the week 1 opener with a score of 24-20. I like that score right there. I think Tampa Bay does put up points, but Atlanta at home seems to be a sleeper. So I'm going to go with the upset today with Atlanta taking 24-20. Let's go to Arizona and New Orleans. In Arizona, they're coming back this year under head coach Jonathan Gannon. They are pretty good on defense. They're very disciplined on defense. And, when you're looking at Kyler Murray, you have Marvin Harrison Jr. He should have had way more stats. I think he should have potentially been an offensive player of the year if, situations went in his favor, but he didn't. So this week 1 win, you got the New Orleans Saints, Spencer Rattler as their QB. Derek Carr, of course, retired. No Tyrann Mathieu. Chase Young is out. The offensive line, too, is pretty banged up for New Orleans. It's a home game. The Saints have won home the past 3 years for week 1. But I like Arizona, man. I think Arizona can pull out the win with a score of 20-7. Yes, I'm only giving the Saints probably 7 points here. I like 20-7 here. Arizona with the win. Now this one right here, Indiana and the Dolphins. Oh, man. Now, Daniel Jones, he was my former quarterback. So you think I should be showing him love? No. He should have did a way better job when he was with the Giants. Let's just take a look at what we got here. The Colts, obviously, they could have won the division a couple of years ago. Then again, they ran into some trouble late in the year. Anthony Richardson did not look his best, and they benched him. They benched him this year. I guess it wasn't a good camp. They're trying to save this guy's career, which I commend the Colts. Obviously, they lost their owner, Jim Irsay, due to a fight, with his health. And now it's a whole nother team now. I mean, Jim Irsay respected his players, and a lot of players have said that. But Miami on the road, it's gonna be interesting. The Colts are not a bad team. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're a bad team, but Daniel Jones as your QB, and look at what he did with the Giants last year with the turnovers, with the inconsistent throwing for the deep ball downfield. I can't see him getting over the hump. You still got Tyreek Hill. You got Jalen Waddle for the Miami Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa, stay your ass in the game. Stop trying to get your head injured. So we got to go with the Dolphins on this one. I like Miami up big. I like them scoring 30 points today. I like 30-14. I like that score, 30-14. Miami gets over the road win at Indianapolis, 30-14. Let's like that. Here's another game too that we got. Let's keep it rolling. Las Vegas against New England. Okay, the Raiders coming in with a new regime. Pete Carroll, he's back in the NFL. He's taking over as the head coach now. Geno Smith, he's got his guys back at QB. They traded for him. He got a contract extension. And then you got rookie Ashton Genty, the 6th overall pick. He's a short guy, stocky, but he's willing to get hit, and he's willing to give some hits. You feel what I'm saying? So, look, New England, they got Mike Vrabel, too, as a head coach. Stephon Diggs is there. He's a number one receiver. He's a true number one receiver. But I'll be honest with you guys, the defense for New England today is going to be down some starters. Christian Gonzalez inactive today. That's a big blow at the cornerback position. That should be interesting, man. I mean, they got New England here for 2.5. I'm gonna take the upset in Las Vegas winning this game by a field goal. I go 20-17. That's what I like for this game. Nothing much else added to this one. This next one is a big one. We got the Jets, the mighty Jets, as Coach Aaron Glenn said. I don't know about that too much, Jet fans out there. Let's be realistic with this team this year. Justin Fields is your QB. He's been bouncing around. He's going against his former team, and Aaron Rodgers going against his former team. So that's a big headline. Also, to the weather, it's a lot of overcast in the area. That could be a factor for Aaron Rodgers and his Achilles. Remember that? I mean, I know he's 2 years since he's injured that, but weather has a big difference after you play on an injury like that. It should be really interesting to say. We got the spread at 2.5, over under 38.5. I think since it's week one, Rodgers won't air out all of the tricks in his bag. He has a new offense. We got DK Metcalf. That's going to make a big difference. And obviously, you know, this season, the Steelers did a rehaul. Got rid of Minka Fitzpatrick. And now you have Jalen Ramsey, who is a true number one, who could come up, play physical, and guard down the number one receiver. The Jets' number one receiver is Garrett Wilson. No one else over there can really. Oh, look at this. Now we got Alan Lazard. He's inactive due to a coach's decision. So who is really going to be getting pass catches from the Jets today? Mekhi Corley, you drafted him and you released him. You know, Breece Hall, he's going to be a beast. But the offensive line, no Elijah Vera Tucker. He's out this year. So the Jets, I don't know, man. I'm going to say they're going to play tough. You still got Quinnen Williams over there. You got Sauce Gardner. He's going to have a tough day against DK Metcalf. I don't know how that's going to look. But the Steelers are banged up too on the offensive line. But since it is a Rodgers return, I don't think it's going to be easy. I really don't. So I'm going to go with a score of 17-14 because, you know, Pittsburgh's played defense. They play defense. I'll give the Jets 2 touchdowns, but I like 17-14 just so the Steelers can cover. Carolina and Jacksonville, that's going to be if these teams learned anything from last year is they're probably going to be those 2 teams that are going to be on the bottom of the division. Look, Carolina's playing in the NFC South with Tampa Bay and Atlanta. And, of course, you got the Saints, too, that are going to be bad. Bryce Young comes back. Chuba Hubbard is the running back for Carolina. He should be a big factor. They're going to run the ball a lot today, so you could definitely count on that for sure. Jacksonville, they got Trevor Lawrence back. He was injured last year with a shoulder injury and a brutal concussion he suffered. They still have a lot of weapons over there. Then Travis Hunter, we get to see what he does on offense. But they said he's going to probably play both ways today. But mostly he's a receiver as also a cornerback too. So his debut should be nothing but, I think, stellar. I think if we really want to be honest, I could see Travis getting an easy 5 to 7 receptions for 80 yards. I like that for the game one of his first NFL game in the league. The Jacksonville, they're favored by 4.5. I'll take Jacksonville today. I like Jacksonville to put up 24 points and Carolina to put up 13. So I'll take 24-13 for this score. This is another big one. We got Cincinnati. Wow. The Bengals at Cleveland. Joe Flacco, a 41-year-old quarterback, just like Rodgers, 40 years old, is taking the starting QB's position out of Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. Obviously, Shedeur didn't get his opportunity to be QB1 this year. He's number 3 in the depth chart. He made the team, but 40-year-old Joe Flacco has to go up against Trey Hendrickson, who just got, a raise for his contract this year. I'm sure he's going to be looking for something big this year. So he's going to have a tough day. That Browns offensive line, they struggled a bit last year. So I don't know how they're going to hold up. And then you got Cincinnati, who has Joe Burrow. You locked up T. Higgins. You locked up Jamar Chase. I mean, it should be a field day for those guys out there. But I'm not saying Cleveland defense isn't going to show up. That secondary's for real. You got Denzel Ward out there. He's a problem. But Cincinnati on the road, I know they've been losing week 1 games for the past few years, but they had a good camp. They had all their guys there. They got their reps in. No one's talking about a contract anymore, which is crazy to think. How would you not pay Jamar Chase last year? But he showed you. That's why he's a Triple Crown winner, and he got paid. He got his big bag. T. Higgins is there. Cincinnati, like I said, you still got to play Cleveland's defense, because if the offense is not going to be good for this year for Cleveland, it's going to be their defense. They lock in very well, but I like the Browns to get 27 points today and Cleveland to get 13. So I take 27-13, Cincinnati winning that game for the 1 o'clock. On my team, let's finally get to it. We got to talk about it. It's Giants at Washington. We got a new QB under center now. Russell Wilson, he's a Super Bowl champion, but I don't know, after he left Seattle, the tables have turned on him. Yes, he had success in Pittsburgh, some sort of success in Denver, but they let him go. But I like our chances with him rather than the Daniel Jones. So that is a major upgrade. We got Jackson Dart, who we drafted, top 20 pick. Then we got Abdul Carter on that defensive side of the ball. That's going to be tough, man, because Andrew Thomas, he's inactive today. That's our left side right there. That's our blind side. That's going to be tough. And also, too, by the way, just to note, Malik Neighbors has been dealing with a back issue. So hopefully he's good to go, because he had a couple of big games against Washington, especially that first game. I mean, they could not stop him. Like, he was just the number 1 target in that game, that first game, that we lost by literally a field goal. If we would have made our field goals, we would have won that game. We missed a couple of field goals in that game, and we lost the game. But Washington, obviously, they added Deebo Samuels, Jaden Daniels back, Terry McLaurin got his extension. So Washington is a 5.5 favorite. That's pretty high. I know I'm a Giant fan. I don't want to be biased, but this is going to come down to the wire. I like the Giants with the upset in week 1 with the score of 24-20, because Russell Wilson, he's going to give us some points. I like his deep shots that he's going to probably give out to Neighbors, or either him or Darius Slayton. 24-20. All right, the Giants are going to do the upset. All right, so I covered the 1 o'clock. Let's get to the 4 o'clock game. Seattle home against the San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy, he's locked up for the future. He got a big bag. Still don't know if he's that guy. I know he was Mr. Irrelevant. He was the last pick in the draft a few years ago. Christian McCaffrey, he's questionable today with the calf injury. I mean, he's just been awful with that injury, man. He just can't seem to get healthy with that calf. And now you're looking at a team, no Deebo Samuels. You still got George Kittle over there. That defense, still Robert Saleh, he's back as a defensive coordinator. So you know they're going to play tough. San Fran is on the road. But let's look at Seattle. They got Sam Darnold now. Is he an upgrade to Geno Smith? A lot of fans didn't like what Geno Smith was doing last year. So Sam Darnold looks like a plus. He won 13 or 14 games with Minnesota last year. Not going to be the same in this division with the Rams there still too. The Rams won that division last year. So 1.5 spread. I take San Fran. I like them to win 27-20. On the road, 27-20, San Francisco, okay? Now let's get to this one. This is also a big game as well. Let's go. Tennessee and Denver. Number 1 pick Cam Ward as his debut in the NFL, going against a tough Denver defense. Man, Denver's defense is pretty legit if you ask me. You got Defensive Player of the Year, Pat Surtain over there. He's a true number 1 shutdown corner. He can He can cover you on inside. He can cover you down the field. His ball instincts are crazy off the top. And, of course, Bo Nix. He had a great rookie year. Let's see what he could do again this year. I'm not even going to waste any time. It's Cam Ward's first game. He could prove me wrong, but I like Denver winning this game 20-10. That's what I like this game to be, 20-10. Now, here is the biggest 4 o'clock game. Detroit on the road at Green Bay. Now, you know Green Bay has been in the headlines the past couple of weeks because they got Micah Parsons. Dallas, how did you fuck that up? You let Micah Parsons go, and now he is playing in the NFC North. That's a great division to be in. A lot of cold games for Micah Parsons. But Detroit, I mean, they had the number 1 offense last year. They don't have their offense coordinator no more. Ben Johnson, he's gone. Defense coordinator, Aaron Glenn, he's gone. We're talking about the number 1 offense from last year. Can that translate to this year? I mean, when you got Jared Goff and you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, and they just locked up James Williamson for $80 million contract extension. Anything is possible with that offense. And then you got the Sonic and Hedge, as they call themselves, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Lions are on the road. I'm going with the Lions. Lions played great the past few years. They're actually 11-1 in the division the past few years. They only lost to Green Bay on Thanksgiving a couple of years ago. So I think Dan Campbell is going to have his guys right. I like this one to be really close. As you can see, it's a 1.5 spread, and it's going to be high scoring. I like 30-27 in favor of the Detroit Lions. Here we go, another 4 o'clock one. Houston on the road at the Rams. Like I said, the LA Rams, they're going to be tough in the NFC West. Sean McVay, you know, he's a wizard on offense. He's got Matthew Stafford, who's dealing with that back injury, that whole training camp. I mean, he's not on the injured list. He should be good to go. I don't see him on the injured list. But Houston, you don't have Joe Mixon today. Christian Kirk is out. C.J. Stroud is going to come back. He's got Nico Collins. He missed him for the portion of the beginning of last season. But L.A. at home, I'm going with the Rams. Puka Nacua is the number 1 guy over there now. So we're going to go with the Rams for a score of 28-21. That's what I like, 28-21 in favor of the L.A. Rams. Here goes the biggest game of the night. Baltimore and Buffalo. 2 MVP quarterbacks. Josh Allen, who just won last year and also got another contract extension, of course, because he was MVP. Lamar Jackson, this is a guy that should have been in the Super Bowl already. I'm sorry. He should have been in the Super Bowl already. What is Baltimore thinking? They still have their offensive coordinator, Todd Monken, still as the OC, and they still haven't got over the hump. I mean, this is unbelievable. You got to run the ball with Derrick Henry. That's why you paid him. What the fuck are you doing? So Baltimore's on the road, 1.5 spread. Bills, they signed a lot of guys this offseason. James Cook, he's back. Tre'Davious White is back, but he's doubtful tonight. And, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what the Bills have to offer as they have a chip on their shoulder as they once again lose to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship last year to now coming into this year. Josh Allen is the man. He finally got that MVP, but he's missing that ring. But this year, I'm going to be honest with you right now, I've got Baltimore as my favorite to the Super Bowl. I hope they prove me wrong because, you know, a lot of times these guys, every time we say Baltimore, Buffalo, KC, from the AFC, and then Baltimore or Buffalo, they never make it to the Super Bowl. So I'm going to go one more time for Baltimore to get to that Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson to finally get his chance to get there. Tonight, I got Baltimore winning because they've been losing a lot for the opening week, in week 1 the past couple of years. But I'm going to go with Baltimore winning for a tight score, but it seems pretty obvious, 27-24, Baltimore in favor of tonight's win. And to close up week 1, we got the Monday night game, Minnesota and Chicago. Now, look, we're going into this game thinking to ourselves, okay, Chicago, they had a struggle last year. Matt Eberflus is gone. Terrible for for what he did to the Bears. I mean, he should have been gone. But now they got Ben Johnson, like I mentioned, who came from Detroit and is now on Chicago. Is that gonna help Caleb Williams succeed in the offense in year one of Ben Johnson era? Let's see. Minnesota's got J.J. McCarthy as their QB now. No more Sam Darnold. Is he gonna come back and give the Vikings 13 plus wins this year? No, you might not see that because he is playing in NFC North with Detroit and Green Bay. And now with Sam Darnold gone, you're looking at probably a 7 to 8 win team, I would say. So we know the injury report right now is what it is. That's not a big factor. But what I want to see what Justin Jefferson is going to do. Is he going to be a big fantasy guy this year with J.J. McCarthy as his QB? Bears are who's it? They don't even have who's favored yet. But it looks like it's a 1.5 spread. I'll take the Vikings for the opening win just because I like what Minnesota does on defense. Their defense is legit. You seen what they did last year to the Jets, to multiple teams. I mean, it just was a beat down for a lot of teams. So I'll take Minnesota with the score of, let's just see. It's going to be close with the offense. That's tough, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you right now. I'm feeling sideways about how many points Minnesota can average this year. I know Kevin O'Connell is their OC, and he's been great with whatever QB he's had. But we're talking about J.J. McCarthy. His is pretty much rookie season, right? So I think in this game he puts up 17 points, and the Bears put up 14 points. So I like 17 to 14 in favor of Minnesota. So that is the week one game picks for me. You got DJ Steph Saucy. Some call me Steph or they call me Saucy. Let's see what my record is come this time next week. If I really owned up to my picks and if they really came to fruition, we're just hoping at this point. But look, thank you for tuning in. This is the Sunday edition of Steph's Game Picks. If you'd like to see more, drop a comment down below, like and share, subscribe. I greatly do appreciate it, and I'll talk to you soon after the first week of the NFL is back. All football until February, all right, guys? So I'm going to be here for you, giving you my picks the best way I know it. So thank you for tuning in. I'll talk to you next time.